What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Nick 4K video. Today we're checking out a Gears of War video from Extra Father, and the title is simply "I'm done." ... Let's check out what he has to say, and we'll see if we agree, we disagree, and maybe we can find some common ground. Let's take a look.
You know what really gets my blood boiling about Gears of War Reloaded? You know why I'm so passionate about Gears of War? It's the fact that we waited all this time, years of silence, and this is the game that the Coalition dropped on us. This doesn't feel like a new, modernized Gears experience. It feels like a slightly shinier version of the Ultimate Edition with all the exact same problems still baked in.
Yeah, that's what it is.
What were they doing this whole time? And don't even get me started on Horde. You're telling me this is the perfect chance to bring Horde into Gears 1, and they just don't?
I agree with
Horde
that
is
one.
one of the most iconic things in the entire franchise.
Okay, so for those who might not know, so Gears of War, the original one, came out in 2006, and then around 2014, 2015, they released like the remake of that with all new graphics. It was pretty much the same game for the most part. Some things were changed, obviously, but just prettier graphics. That's what it was. And so they released it again, this time for a PlayStation release to get the PlayStation fans introduced before the big game drops next year, which is going to be Gears of War E-Day, which is a prequel to this game. Now, if you're in the Gears of War community, it's been almost like hinted and leaked that there was a Marcus Phoenix collection, which would be akin to like the Master Chief collection we got several years ago. So the Master Chief collection had Halo 1, 2, 3, and 4 all in the same package, where the idea of the Marcus Phoenix collection would have been Gears 1, 2, and 3 all redone nice and fresh in a complete package as well. Something along the lines of, like I said, the 2014-2015 Gears of War, which was called the Ultimate Edition, which was the same game with a facelift. And that's kind of what we were expecting to see from Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3, or at least Gears of War 2 for now, and maybe get Gears of War 3 further down the line. And so many Gears fans were excited because they thought, okay, well, if E-Day is releasing next year, they'll release the Gears of War 2 remake at least. If we don't get the collection, at least we get the second one. And why Gears of War 2 getting a remake would be a big deal is because many consider Gears 2 and 3 to be the best games of the franchise. I would say that Gears 3 is fundamentally, overall, like from a technical aspects, from the campaign, the characters, the 4-player co-op, overall, and the Horde mode, overall it was the better Gears of War game. But I personally think that Gears of War 2 is the best game in the entire franchise, and I still think that ever since I played it back in when it came out, 2008, 2009. And there are many other people who are just like me who think the exact same way. So we were all really excited to get Gears of War 2 redone in an Ultimate Edition. But instead, Microsoft released the Ultimate Edition again, called it Reloaded, and really they just kind of changed some graphical differences and stuff. But overall, it's pretty much the exact same port, this time just for like PlayStation users. I played it. I liked it. I was okay with it because I hadn't played the Ultimate Edition for years, so it was fun to kind of come back and give it another shot and play through it all again. But when I first heard it was the first one coming back, I was disappointed because I've been waiting for the Gears 2 remake or the Ultimate Edition ever since Gears 1 Ultimate Edition. So I'm sure there's a lot of people who are like me in the Gears community who were very disappointed when they found out the Reloaded was just the Ultimate Edition again. So that's pretty much what he's talking about in this video. I'm sure he'll do a little bit of a deeper dive as this video goes on, but there's a little extra context to this video before we get into the more meat and potatoes of it. So with that said, let's continue.
People who aren't hardcore Gears fans know Horde. This could have been the thing that kept new players around, gave casuals something to enjoy, gave PlayStation players a mode where they didn't instantly get destroyed online. Instead,
all the PlayStation players that I've been talking to online have been complaining about how the multiplayer is, well, not necessarily for them, but also there is no palette cleanser mode. And that's what Horde kind of served. Like when you can play on versus and when you got annoyed or you got pwned, you know, you got beat up, you're annoyed with that, you'll move over to something else. There were games that did Horde mode, a Horde mode before Gears, but Gears 2 is what made Horde mode such a big thing. And that's why Horde mode isn't in the original Gears, because it only came during Gears 2 and it became a massive thing, and then it was in every installment after that except for 1. I think Judgment didn't have Horde mode. I could be wrong about that. But it's one of those things where everyone was really excited about having Horde because that was something else to do when you got tired of versus. Unfortunately, they didn't make a mode for this, and it's one of those things where, like, yes, it wasn't in the original game, but they could have made one. And it doesn't even have to be that, complex like you get in like Gears 4 or 5, right? It could just be something relatively simple. They could have did a simple, fun Gears of War Horde mode for the original Gears, but they didn't. So that's what he's talking about.
The game basically tells you, hey, here's a campaign and here's sweaty ass PvP. Have fun.
Yeah, PvP is not for everybody.
It's a fucking joke. And speaking of multiplayer, oh, man, there's some fucking issues, aren't there? It's pretty brutal. It's pretty damn bad. The Nasher, I mean, why are we touching the Nasher? We should have just kept what we had in the beta, refined it, made it better. Instead, we are basically putting the whole game on all the new players. Like, hey, this is what Gears was. This ain't fucking Gears. One-shotting people is not Gears. I shouldn't have to say that. I've been one-shot down more in just a couple matches and Reloaded than I had in my entire gaming time with Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, I will say that too. There's like, there used to be this thing in the old Gears games called the host advantage, and I think it's back. Like, it's back in this, because there's like some times where I'm just annihilating people and people are shooting at me, the bullets aren't registering on me, but I'm like smacking these guys. I'm like, yeah, this is great, I got host. And then like the next round I'm not host, and then like one of the enemies are, and my shots are going right through him, or we'll be right next to each other, like legit like 2 feet away from each other. We'll both fire our shotguns. I'll get downed and they won't even get hurt. That's the type of thing where it's like, when that happens in a game, that's just super frustrating, because that's not even like you got beat by a better player. That's just like the game chose you to be cheesed. And after enough cheesing, I understand people quit. Like, if I get cheesed enough in a game, I'll quit. I'll just stop playing. Like, if I get beat fair and square, I'm cool with that. But when it's some kind of jank advantage because of unoptimized multiplayer, and Call of Duty does this sometimes too, it really does piss you off. And I've actually had a couple of occasions where I'm playing Gears Reloaded on multiplayer here, and I have a situation like this where, I'm shooting at enemies and I'm laying into them, and they'll just shoot me like 3 times and I'm down. Or with a shotgun, like from this distance, from these characters, I'll get shot from that distance, I'm down. I'm like, how are you sniping me with a shotgun? I'm sure there are cheaters out there, why wouldn't there be? But it's not every person cheating. And almost like every 3 rounds I have a situation where I come across a host character who is just like way more powerful than me, and it's just it's unfortunate.
It's absolutely fucking crazy.
That too.
The skill gap is so wide that if you're not a veteran, you're basically fucking done. Like, you're getting your brain shut off. New players don't even get a chance to breathe.
I also think that maybe they should introduce a Lancers only mode. They have a Nashers only mode. I think you need to also introduce a Lancers only mode. I think that would actually fix a lot of these issues, because it is fun to see, like, okay, what do you have with a Lancer? If you can only use a Lancer, that means you can only really do mid-range damage or chainsaw. So that would be like a really cool game mode that they probably should have did, that I think a lot of people would consider more of a palate cleanser mode, because it wouldn't be a serious mode. It'd just be kind of like, hey, let's see how well you can do with the chainsaw. And I think that'd be fun.
In this game. And what's worse is there's no co-op versus AI, no bots, nothing to help people ease into this game. You're telling me in 2025, we go into a Gears game and we can't go into a private match to play against fucking bots?
I guess there aren't bots. I didn't think about that.
Are you kidding me? So
that's right. When Gears of War first dropped, I didn't have that back in 2006. When we didn't have internet connection, so I would just play against bots. I forgot about that. I have a buddy come over. They joined their team, and we'd lead our own bot squads. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's a great point. Great point he made. I didn't even think about it, but yes, that should definitely be in this game. Why is it not? Wow.
So, of course, the only people sticking around are the ones who already live and breathe Gears, which is the exact opposite of what this game needed. Then there's the progression system, if you can even call it that. You level up, you get characters along the way of leveling up, you hit 100, you reset, and that's fucking it. And in the year 2025, this is our fucking progression system. There's no unique rewards. There's no unlockable characters tied to campaign. There are some for levels. I mean, why can't we just go back to Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3's progression system? That progression meant something. You earned characters, you unlocked stuff that made the grind worth it. And in Reloaded, there's just fucking nothing.
That's right. Gears of War 3 had a really good progression system. You could unlock extra skins, and like character skins, weapons, and you can unlock all that stuff by pretty much doing anything you wanted. I think that was a really smart way to kind of do it. Like, hey, go here, do 5 kills, do however you like it. Boom, you got like a nice, cool new skin. You know, something along those lines. It was a very good way of doing it back then. And they could have introduced something like that. I see what he's saying in this video. So this video is pretty much him saying, I'm not going to say he's complaining about it because he's making good points. Like when I hear someone complaining about something, that doesn't necessarily mean that like they're in the wrong. But he's making some really good points. What this was supposed to be, or at least what I think the Coalition and Microsoft were doing, this was supposed to be a cheap cash grab that would bring PlayStation players over to get them ready for E-Day. That's what this was meant for. What he was wanting them to do was kind of like a soft remake. And when I say a soft remake, a full remake would be like from the ground up, you know, a remake of this game or the original Gears. A soft remake would be like a remake of the Ultimate Edition with extra stuff to kind of hold people's attention until E-Day. Now, I understand where he's coming from, and I agree with him, but maybe he has too high of expectations for this game. So like I said, while I agree with him, this game should have all this stuff. That's not what their plan was with this. So I don't know. I think this was supposed to be just like a little shot of Gears of War to all the PlayStation fans, get a little bit of hit towards it, you know, towards especially the campaign, right? Because the original Gears of War for me, the versus was fun, but really when I play Gears of War, I truly play for the campaign, especially like the co-op fun stuff you can do in later ones. So my view of like the ladder effect when it comes to these different games is like the higher on the ladder of a certain game mode in that game is more important. The lower part of the ladder would be the reason why you would least buy the game. So for instance, when you buy, let's say Call of Duty, you buy Call of Duty for the multiplayer, and then the secondary thing would be like the Warzone, and then you like the third thing on that ladder would be the campaign. Like no one buys a Call of Duty for the campaign. There are people who probably do, and there's people who like the campaign, but you don't buy Call of Duty for the campaign. You buy it for the multiplayer. Another comparison you could make would be with Halo. You know, you buy Halo for the campaign, and then the secondary would be the multiplayer, and then below that would be like Firefight or something like that, or Forward. When it comes to Halo, you can change those wrongs. You can change the multiplayer and the campaign. For me, I always preferred the Halo's campaign and then the multiplayer, and then of course Firefight and Forge were a little lower on the ladder for me. But when it comes to Gears of War, I buy Gears of War for the campaign, and then I play Horde, and then I play Versus. So that's my perspective on how like the modern zeitgeist of Gears of War is. I could be completely wrong, but that's how I've been since Gears 2, since Horde mode was actually introduced. So for me, Versus is like the third thing on the ladder why I would buy Gears of War. But it does seem like for him, Versus is the top rung type of thing. And the way that like modern gamers buy things now, it doesn't seem like people even buy games for the campaigns anymore. They buy them for the multiplayer. So I 100% understand where he is coming from when he talks about this. Not to say that he doesn't like the campaign, but what I'm saying is he's making a point that a lot of the new PlayStation players, they're coming into this game expecting a lot of fun multiplayer, and they're not having fun with the multiplayer. So they're playing the campaign, they're failing at the multiplayer, and they're uninstalling and leaving it. So from that perspective, I actually think that is what Microsoft wants. This game wasn't supposed to be big or wasn't supposed to have any massive features. It was legit just supposed to be a shot in the arm of all of gaming, not just for PlayStation, but mostly for the PlayStation fan base, but also for PC and Xbox fans. Hey, here's this thing. It's in the zeitgeist kind of. It will die off a little bit, and then in a year from now, the next one will come out, and you'll be like, oh, that's right, I played the other Gears of War, I dug the campaign, didn't like the multiplayer. Oh, looking at all these trailers, oh, Horde mode, that's looks pretty, okay, this is looking a lot better than that last one, I'll give this one a shot. So I think that's really what this game was meant to be. I understand where he's coming from with this, and I agree with him 100%, but that's not what Microsoft was aiming for. So with that long tangent out of the way, let's get back to his video.
It's just a number next to your name. That's fucking pathetic. That's really pathetic. And to make matters worse, like, they just didn't try to fix anything. They literally fixed absolutely fucking nothing from Ultimate Edition. It's the same recycled issues all over again. And that's straight up fucking just disrespectful to the fans who've been loyal to the series since day one. Like, when I think back to Gears 2 and Gears 3, those games actually gave you a reason to stick around. You had Horde, you had unlockable characters, you had cool achievements that rewarded you for grinding the campaign or PvP. It felt like you were building towards something. And in Reloaded, there's just fucking nothing, man. And
yeah, like I said, like, your arguments are completely valid, but that's not what Microsoft was aiming for. This was just supposed to be a little shot in the arm of Gears of War feel to kind of make everyone remember it, understand it from a certain level, and be prepared for E-Day. But like I said, your arguments are completely valid, my guy, for sure, 100%.
it's disappointing as shit. It's like it's like they said to themselves, they'll buy it anyway. Just make it look pretty and ship it. It's making me not want to play the game at all. People can go in the comments and be like, oh, it's a skill issue. Shut the fuck up.
No.
Shut the fuck up. This game right here is almost 20 years old. And they're not trying to innovate at all. You're telling me that? You're telling me that I grinded my ass off back in 2015 in Ultimate Edition. And 10 years later, when we're looking for something crazy good, when we're looking for E-Day, you guys are just like, yeah, upgrade the graphics, ship it. It astounds me, man. It astounds me. And I know some people will say, well, it's just Gears 1. You can't expect them to add much. Yes, I fucking can. It's 2025, not 2006. If you're going to re-release a game like this and charge people for it, you better fucking modernize it. You better make sure it has the modes, the content, and the quality to stand next to other games today. Just because Gears 1 didn't have Horde doesn't mean Reloaded shouldn't. That's the point of a fucking remake. You improve it. You add to it. You make it worth playing again. Otherwise, you're just sticking with the same fucking game we had 10 years ago. And let's be real. This game isn't bringing in new players. It's just not. Imagine you're a PlayStation player hopping into Gears for the very first time, only to get absolutely destroyed in multiplayer because the skill gap is so insane and there's no beginner-friendly content. You're not sticking around. You're uninstalling and moving on right after you finish this campaign.
And like I said, that was their point. That's what they wanted to do. I keep stating it. He's 100% right. They could have put a lot more into this, but for what they were aiming to do, this was it. This was just a little shot in the arm. That's what they were looking for. They weren't looking to do like a full release. This was just a, hey, here we are. Remember us for next year. So yeah, I agree with everything he has to say.
That's the exact opposite of what this franchise needs right now. And the thing that kills me is that Gears has such a loyal fan base that's been begging for more. We've been begging so much for a collection. E-Day, Horde, Progression, something. And instead of giving us what would make this community actually thrive again, we got a piss poor remake. Not even a remake, actually. It's just a fucking visual upgrade. And a game that feels like it was built on minimum effort. It's like TC looked at the bare minimum and said, yeah, good enough. Oh, it fucking shows, doesn't it? Man, I love this series, but God, it's getting really fucking tough. Like, I literally have to go back. There's a game that just released like less than a month ago, and I have no
he got surrounded by
play
Marcus's.
and I make content for the game. That's a sad fucking world, man. That's a sad world. I've been looking forward to something new, but oh. And you know what makes me mad? Look at other remakes out there. Resident Evil 2 remake. They rebuilt that game from the ground up, modernized everything, and still respected what made the original series special. And the Dead Space remake, god damn, they hit that shit out of the park. They added new mechanics, updated the story beats, gave us a reason to replay it. Even in Halo, Master Chief Collection, yeah, it had a rough launch, but look at it now. It's a full-on celebration of the franchise that gives players everything they could ask for. Now compare that to Gears Reloaded. It feels like they didn't even look at what competition was doing. And the worst part is, they know Gears fans are passionate enough to still buy it. And the multiplayer design decisions, man, I can't wrap my head around it. The Nasher is so overtuned. It kills the flow of matches.
Yeah, you can snipe with the
Nasher.
Nasher
if you're actually happened to Gears 5?
Host. Yeah.
You know how many times they changed the fucking Nasher, bro? It was absolutely ridiculous. It was ridiculous. There were so many game changes. You had to pay attention to what they were doing. Because if you didn't, and you played the exact same way from month over month, it felt like a completely different game. And now, here we are, bro. And it just makes me sad. It's sad to see, dude. It's fucking sad to see. And bro, if you just go on Reddit for like a couple minutes, you'll see so many issues with this game. There's people losing XP in matches, bro. How in the fucking world does that happen?
I didn't hear about that.
All right, guys, I'm about to fucking lose it. Y'all better hide the kids for this one.
Oh god.
So I'm about to get loud.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
For me, I'm just fucking done with it. I don't care.
Yeah, he's popping off on this one.
Has been so incredibly incompetent in doing this game. Not only this game, but Gears 5 was an absolute fucking horror fest. The fact that we're sitting here in 2025, and we've got the same fucking issues. The same issues that we had in 2015. Y'all are so fucking lazy. You can't make a goddamn main menu. A fucking main menu.
Okay, so speaking of the main menu, that's probably the only glitch I had in this game was for like the first 2 days I couldn't play because the main menu was glitching out if you tried to sign on to your Xbox account while you're on your PC. So I think that's what he might be hitting towards. I had to like go into one of my game files, like deep into the game files, delete a certain corrupted file, and then it started working again. And I haven't had any issues since I deleted that file. But I'm also like a tech guy, right? So I could imagine some other people who just have like a PC for gaming, who don't understand tech, who don't want to go into their files because they fear they're going to delete something they don't want to delete. That can be really frustrating. Waiting for an update. I think they did release an update then, but to wait for an update for that would be frustrating, especially if you're like really having a hankering to play Gears and you can't. So I get that.
After all this that's happened, and the fact that I can see right through this bullshit, it just makes it incredibly frustrating. Incredibly fucking frustrating to try and support this lazy ass game. To think I've been a Gears fan for so long, and to get the shit slapped out of me from this fucking company over this game. They don't respect your time, they don't respect the community, and they don't respect your intelligence. We need to move on from this company. Because this shit, this fucking shit, this shit of a game should be absolutely fucking buried. It's been disgusting to try and do content for this game. TC has learned absolutely fucking nothing. Nothing.
Got a sniper behind him.
Since they got this fucking IP. So, there it is. I'm done. I'm not supporting this franchise anymore.
Wow.
If E-Day succeeds, I don't give a fuck. TC has done so badly. So fucking badly to their community. I'm probably not going to be doing gaming content at all anymore. So, if you see this video, just letting you know, that's why you won't see any more. Because I can't support this lazy shit anymore.
Wow.
I really can't. I really can't. I'll be making music on the side, and that's probably it. I just got married, and so I'm just trying to remove all this negative bullshit out of my life and focus on my life with her and my kids. So, fuck you, TC. All right? Right up your fucking ass.
Oh, man. Poor
because
guy.
that's what you've been doing to your community for the past couple of years. All right? I'll catch you guys when I catch you.
Wow. Okay. Man, sorry to hear all that. I agree with everything he had to say about adding more into the game. They could have did more. But as I said earlier in the video, it was on purpose what they did, you know? So while I agree with you, I also understand, like, they're not going to dump a bunch of resources into a game that is being released to hype up the next one, the actual true next one, not like a remake. So, like I said, your points are 100% valid, but I also understand, I guess from a business standpoint, why they didn't dump a ton of resources and time and money into adding extra elements into this. But I do wonder how hard it would have been for them to do a horde mode on this. I wonder if there's any developers out there in the comments. Let me know. How hard would it have been to actually make one of those? Because I feel like it probably wasn't that hard to do that. They could have done one. Yeah, great video, man. Shame to hear you leaving Gears. I'm still excited for Gears E-Day. I do think it looks like a step in the right direction. Gears of War 5 I thought was fine. But there were elements to it that, looking back now or playing it more recently, I didn't love. And I know that the multiplayer and horde mode, and they also had like a hive busters thing. I know that when all that stuff came out, it was pretty rough, but it's pretty ironed out now. So the game is fun on its own. But there is an element where I feel like E-Day has a chance to really bring home the bacon. So I'm gonna keep myself optimistic about it. But hey, who knows? But what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. Are you going to be picking up E-Day? Did you play Gears of War Reloaded? And did you have a fun time like me with the campaign, and then the verses you kind of just fell off of because it's just not really your feel? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications for more videos. And if you want to check out any more of my videos, they're right here on the screen. Go ahead and click them. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you next one. Peace.